Shefali ma'am, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's an honor to meet you even virtually. I wish there was no pandemic and I could meet you for real, but this
Really,
is
even
an
I
honor.
wish the same. Believe me, I wish the same. I don't like this virtual thing. I prefer meeting in person, but I'm glad at least this way we're meeting.
Okay, this is like my lucky day. Okay, your short film, Happy Birthday Mummy Ji, it's winning hearts. Like Twitter, Instagram, everywhere, the reviews have just taken over. I want to ask you, what is the best review that you have received so far?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think one of a very senior journo, and she said it's like every woman's wet dream come true. I thought it was very funny and very appropriate, and actually the ending of the film. So yeah, I'm overwhelmed. I'm really overwhelmed, and I feel lucky to. I feel blessed with so much love and appreciation.
I think everybody is really loving it, and women everywhere are really like most of them are really relating to it. I watched it, I made my parents watch it, they loved it, I loved it. So, and we loved your character. So, let's talk about her. Let's talk about Suchi. What is it about her that you love the most and you relate to the most?
She's real. She is a counterpart of me. She's a counterpart of a lot of women I know. And that's why she's relatable. This is the life a lot of women lead. And that's what I like about her. She's honest, she's raw, and she finally chooses to do what she does, even if it is at the cost of being selfish, which is fine.
And she has some really good outfit choices.
Oh, that was Ishit Narayan. The outfit choices were mine, but the color blocking was Ishit Narayan, my DOP. He was my first choice. He was my only choice for the film, and he knew exactly what colors he wanted. I knew I wanted the white in the end, the blues in the beginning, and then going on to that yellow. I like, the thought behind the yellow was that what would she do in a place where she might feel chilly in the night? She'd wear her son's or husband's hoodie on top of her clothes, and the red was what he wanted against the green. Even I was quite keen on the red. So yeah, she has interesting choices of clothes.
I mean, the red against the green and then the royal white and golden by the end. I mean, the entire color sequence, what was the thought behind that? I really wanted to ask you this. When I watched it, it was like the first thing which came to my mind, like, look at the color. It's going from blue to yellow, and then there's green, there's red, and then there's golden and white. So what was the thought behind it?
The sense of being somewhere restricted. Also, it's not just the colors. It's also, you see the blues, they're not just in her clothes. It's in the plates, it's in the curtains, it's in a lot of stuff around her. So there is this blue box that she's stuck in until she steps out. And that yellow is almost like a sunshine. Also, visually, it looked really nice, against the green and the blue and the horrible pink float and this blob of yellow line there. I thought it was it, and then on to the red. It's a sense of freedom and liberation. And then finally, in the end, the peace of making a choice, the calm, the just that sense of ecstasy. So it was all of that put together.
I think towards the end, when we see you in white and the entire atmosphere there, I mean, that is one thing we are all wanting in our lives, that one day we can just reach that level of peacefulness.
True.
So
and
that
like, for example, in the end, she wears the white kurta, but she doesn't wear a churidar under. It's just
liberating.
It's liberating. The red, she would never wear that dress probably with her in-laws around. But it's like if she and her husband and her children came to the farmhouse for a holiday, she would.
So, ma'am, what inspired you to write a story like this?
I didn't start with a thought of let me sit down and write a story. It came to me. It came to me from within. Like I said, Suchi is a counterpart of not just me, but a lot of women I know. And what she feels is what all of us have felt at many occasions. Just the need to I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So it's very close to real life. It is real life.
So, ma'am, you're already a wonderful actress. We all know that. The entire world knows that. When did you realize that you want to start directing films?
I've always wanted to direct, Mahima. I've always wanted to direct. I just wasn't sure if I could take up the responsibility of a full-fledged feature. And then I kept thinking, one day I'll direct. During the pandemic, what happened is we also realized somewhere that life is very unpredictable and we had to make the most of today. So it's like a switch that went on in my head. These are the two stories that came to me. Someday being my first film as a director, which is doing the festival circuit. It's showcasing at the Stuttgart Film Festival right now in a couple of days. And then this. And I just realized that, what? I can't keep waiting for that one day to happen. I want to do this and I'm going to do it now. And that's exactly how it happened. So yeah, I have written scripts. I want to direct full-fledged films. I keep writing, but with these two, I said it's so close to heart. Also, it's based in the pandemic. It talks about a very prevalent situation, not just because of the pandemic, but because there are a lot of times, even if you're in a crowd, you could feel extremely isolated. So it was just all together, and like a switch went on, and I said, okay, fine, I want to direct and I want to do it now.
I mean, this is one thing we all can learn from you. If you want to do something, go for it. Don't wait, just go for it.
Absolutely. And until you don't dive in the deep sea, you're not going to learn how to swim.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, ma'am, have you ever faced this in real life that, you were so tired of, people
A lot of times.
Like, have you let go?
Absolutely. A lot of times. It's very true to life. It's a slice of my life. I have the luxury of going to work and I love being on a set. I love it. I have that luxury. I have that respite. I have the place to make a choice and say, you know what, I'm going to go off and meet my best friend and I'm going to live with her for 3 days. But a lot of women do not have that option. Also, during the lockdown, I realized I became a full-on, I am a homemaker, and proudly so. I am a mom, I am a wife, I'm a daughter-in-law, I'm a homemaker, and I'm a very hands-on person. But during the pandemic, it kind of got rubbed into my face because all I did was look after people and look after the home. It was exhausting. It was just exhausting. It was overbearing. It was overwhelming. And I just wanted to get away. I just wanted to get away. That's what I wanted to do.
Wow. Okay, so now acting and directing are two very different lines of work. Like they all come with their own challenges. But according to you, since you directed and acted in this, what do you think was more challenging for you personally?
Direction is a huge challenge. Okay, as an actor, you can go on set, do your bit, do the best you can, but you have other people overlooking it. As a director, you have to look into every single aspect of it. As a director, it's a completely different ballgame. It's a job of very high responsibility. And you're carrying the responsibility of all those people who've trusted in you, who've backed your vision, whether it's a producer, whether it's the DOP, whether it's the editor, they put in their best, whether it's each and every spot person or a light man on the set. And you have to be able to justify. And from the first day that you start putting it on paper till the last day that you finally have the final copy, it's a lot of responsibility. You have to match, and it's a marriage of so many beautiful and creative and talented minds, and it's a learning every day. So it's extremely challenging. It's extremely interesting and it's addictive. And also as a creator, I could have choices. I would have wanted to shoot this in Goa. But you have to understand that a short film has time and money constraints. It can't be shot according to the way I want to shoot. At the same time, I did not want to compromise on my creative vision. So to make it happen, it's not an easy job. And also what happens is every day throws a new challenge at you. And you have to think on your feet. Like for example, I had 2 days to shoot this film. The first day I lost 4 hours because of the rain. And we were just juggling like, okay, fine, let's switch this from here to here. Let's move this scene inside. Let's, stuff like that. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. and I totally love it. I love it. The pressure is tremendous, and it's very addictive. Like I would do it in a heartbeat again.
I think working on a dream project, working on your baby is very tough. It takes a lot of, I mean, input, and you have to look at a lot of other things. But in the end, it was worth it because everybody is loving it. Everybody can see the hard work put into it, the love put into it.
Thank you, Mahima. Thank you so much.
So, Shefali ma'am, you've dabbled in in a lot of genres in all your years in the entertainment industry. I want to ask you, which one do you enjoy the most? Because we've seen you doing comedy, we've seen you doing romance, thriller, Delhi crime.
Actually, you haven't seen me doing a comedy.
I mean, there was a little bit in Dil Dhadakne though. I mean, everything that you did in that movie, it just made us.
I think even in Mummy Ji, I mean, there's this one shot I really like a lot.
Little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So which one do you enjoy doing the most?
Romance. I'm a hardcore romantic.
It suits you also.
I know.
There's just something about the expressions and everything.
I think so.
So now that we've watched Happy Birthday Mummy Ji, we are looking forward to your other projects. You've just started working on another movie, Darlings. So I just want to ask you, how has your experience been with Alia Bhatt so far?
Not just with Alia, I mean, she's fantastic. She's a great co-actor. She's a very giving actor, and we have great chemistry. And I mean, what a cast and a team all together. I mean, there is Alia, there is Vijay, there is Roshan Mathew. It's directed by Jasmeet, who has a very clear vision. It's a fantastic script. And we have none other than Anil Mehta sir shooting it. And it's like fantastic. I'm having so much fun on that set. And it's a genre I haven't done. You know, it's a comedy. It's a dark comedy. And it's wicked. And it's hilarious.
I mean, that's not a scoop, but I am even more intrigued about this movie now after hearing it from you.
Oh, I can't tell you. It's fantastic. I love it. Love it.
Excited.
Yeah. And it's a very important topic. It's a very pertinent topic, but yet it is treated in a way which is so humorous. And it's really wicked.
Wow. And another film, Dr. G, you'll be playing a doctor in it. The Ayushmann Khurrana and Rakul Preet Singh starrer, you are going to play a doctor in it. Is there anything about the character you can tell us? Even a little bit will do.
I can tell you about the script. It's a very sweet, sensitive social film. It's an ensemble cast. I really like the script. It's very sweet. And I just wanted to be a part of it. As far as playing a doctor is concerned, I first played it in Human, which is the web series that Vipul is producing, and Vipul and Moses Singh are directing it. And they are, that character, I'm playing a doc in that as well, but that character is unlike anything I have ever played. In fact, she is unlike anyone I know or I have even heard of or seen. And that is the point of view of everyone who's read the script, who's seen it on set, who's seen her take life, that, oh my God, we don't know anyone like her, you know, and completely, I mean, she's, there's not a single trace of Shefali in there. Not a single trace of Shefali in there.
So a lot of exciting projects with very different characters are coming for us.
Yes.
So, ma'am, before I take your leave, I have one last question to ask you. While I was watching your short film, this really silly question came to my mind, but I have to ask you because I don't know when I'll get this chance again. In the short film, your on-screen husband keeps cutting the call without saying bye. He doesn't
Everyone
say
in my house does it.
How do you react to it in reality? I really wanted to ask you.
Everyone in my house does it. So, hello, I was talking to you. Acha, I thought you had finished. Everyone does it. And earlier it used to irritate me. Now I find it humorous. I find it very amusing.
Even the short film, like in the beginning, you're like okay with it, but then after a while, you're like,
yeah, I think, you know, there are so many years of marriage that Suchi has been in. She's lived with this family. She knows how they're going to behave. So when you're initially in the marriage, it starts bothering you. But after a point of time, you get used to it. Hi, honey. How are you doing, baby? Hi, mom. Bye, mom. I got to go. Are? It's that. Like my son calls me for OTP. My name in his phone is saved as OTP. Earlier it was, where are you? Because all I used to ask was, where are you?
Okay, thank you so much, Shefali ma'am. It was wonderful talking to you. I'm in so much awe of you that I just can't take my eyes off the screen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you
And
very
looking
much.
forward to many of your more directorials and all of your upcoming projects. Very excited to see you shine on screen. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. You stay safe. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, my mom.